Jared Nabenbauer, or ProJared as I'll be calling him to avoid butchering that last name, was a relatively niche YouTuber until the summer of 2019. He made in-depth game analyses, utilising his unique viewpoints and personality to win over his small corner of the internet. You might recognise him for his D&D December series, or perhaps his famous appearance on Nickelodeon's hit show Game Shakers. Because Game Shakers is something we all know and love, right? Right? Please, Nick, bring that back, just like iCarly. You can do it, you've done it before. Please bring back Game Shakers. I need more Triple G. I need him. In May of 2019, though, Jared's game was certainly shocked, as a messy divorce seemed to unveil some darker secrets of the YouTuber, starting a blaze of controversy, rocketing Jared to the front page of all drama-related content across every platform. It's a strange thought that there will be a generation of children born after the ProJared controversy. Like the moon landing or 9/11, just seems like one of those moments that everyone remembers where they were and what they were doing when they heard about it. To hear that this dude smashed twice, well, that's enough to give any man hope. With one set of viral tweets between Jared and his then wife Heidi O'Farrell, the once niche YouTuber sprang into the limelight of YouTube drama, though it didn't exactly do much for Jared's brand, with allegations of infidelity, grooming fans and all the sweet stuff that goes along with those things. Jared's channel took a major hit, losing over 100,000 subscribers after he'd worked for years to reach 1 million. At first, the story seemed a pretty clear-cut case of a YouTuber abusing the influence they had, yet Jared wasn't exactly happy to let his career die without fighting back. Posting his response in August of 2019, ProJared sought to spell out in increasing detail his side of the story. With the back and forth of this drama, it was the first time where a large YouTuber had had their personal life and misdeeds exposed, only for them to respond, and then for the community to decide whether they were worthy of retaining their presence online. Since then, there have been a few more similar, far too personal controversies. Call Me Carson, Pyrocynical, members of the Ozcast and Rooster Teeth have all been involved in similar situations, and that's just to name a few. Some bounced back, while others were condemned to internet obscurity. It's a wild new trend in the age of YouTube, really, so I think it's worth taking a look back at the well-spoken, skinny lad that started it all. ProJared's first YouTube video was uploaded on the 18th of September 2010, and as I said before, Jared's content was mostly based on his analysis of games, mostly him looking at why they did or didn't work and creating some comedy with his fans through that. His Twitch was filled with more retro playthroughs, and at times his content did become based around top 10 lists, comparisons, best of series and things like that. Basically, he's been around the YouTube sphere for a while, and through the variety of content he makes, it's clear people watch ProJared for Jared and not a consistent niche he filled. He was once a part of Normal Boots, a group of other YouTubers who created similar content to Jared and have mostly similar followings. Recognisable names like John Tron, The Completionist, Did You Know Gaming and Peanut Butter Gamer were all a part of Normal Boots, though Jared departed from the company due to his controversy in 2019. This departure by many accounts was part of damage control for Normal Boots. Allegations against Jared arose. Jared's content is by no means everyone's cup of tea, but I don't think it was ever meant to be. Watching his stuff, it seems that unlike many YouTubers who want to be at the front page, to be constantly on trending, I think Jared just preferred having his own corner of the internet, where he and his audience could do as they pleased. Compared to the loudness of YouTube, it was a fairly quiet place, and a peaceful existence for dear Jared, though like all good things, it had to come to an end. May 8th, 2019 turned out to be the most fateful day of Jared's career. Announcing the divorce between him and Heidi O'Farrell, Jared sought to update his audience on his personal life. Heidi wasn't exactly happy with that though, and decided to follow Jared's tweet with one of her own, stating that their mutual friend, Holly Conrad, and Jared had been having an affair between Heidi's back. From this statement, the drama grew, with Heidi taking the offensive, first going after Jared. She claimed he was verbally and emotionally abusive, while also stating that she had proof of explicit images sent between Jared, Holly, and fans. There were also some more direct strikes at Holly, though for the sake of the video's length, I'd really rather not get too much into the minutiae of the tweets. There are plenty of well-made videos, made at the time of the accusations, that show the Twitter war in detail and better than I ever could. From Heidi's tweets, things only got worse for Jared. Drama and commentary channels picked up the story, most surprised at the fact that again, this guy smashed twice. Absolute king, what a chad. Thank you, Jared. Anyway, as the traction began to build, the final nails seemed to hit Jared's coffin as underage fans shared their conversations with the YouTuber. showing the nudes he sent them and his explicit Tumblr. Keemstar had a field day with that one, and it seemed with naught but silence from Jared that he doomed himself and accepted the allegations. In August, after months of losing subscribers and becoming hated or memed by the internet, Jared returned with his response. Appearing a pretty broken man in his studio, with messy hair and a 5 o'clock shadow, Jared wished to tell the world they'd been lied to. In a showing of some outstanding research, Jared proved that he'd not willingly engaged with underage fans, and that they told him they were 18 in order to gain access to his explicit Tumblr. In over 40 minutes of video, Jared told his side of the story, battling against his internet cancellation. And I have to say, whether you believe he's innocent or not, this is by far the best personal defence I've seen on YouTube. Nearly an hour of detail and evidence pulled up against his allegations, things that basically ensure that no matter what happens, he's not going to jail. With his evidence, Jared allows the facts to speak for themselves. His biggest crime at the end of it all is cheating on his wife, something that many are guilty of and shouldn't really have been brought into the limelight in the first place. At the end of it all, Jared's channel took a huge hit still. He lost his 1 million subscribers, and his views haven't reached the numbers of old since his response, even with his widely successful defence. This is not to say his channel has died though. If anything, Jared has made a relative comeback. Again, his audience is made up of people that have always watched his content, and I doubt he'll be breaking into the mainstream unless he cheats on another wife. Still, it would have been more than easy for his channel to die a horrible death, and it's impressive he's managed to stay alive. As most people have agreed, Jared battled against internet cancellation and brought himself back into some form of career on the internet. Jared aside, the aftermath of this whole situation undoubtedly changed the landscape of YouTube. Though there had been personal controversies of YouTubers in the past, Logan Paul's Woodland escapade for example, the waters were never as muddied. In the past, a YouTuber had always been in the wrong, and there was no need for responses and telling different sides of the story. The ProJared controversy was a watershed moment. Instead of public oopsies being recognised, now the private wrongdoings and even crimes could be brought to light against content creators. In the gaming sphere especially, there were multiple big names who were exposed for what they are. In Jared's case and a few others, of course false cancellations can take place, and there is a problem with how much these situations are blown out of proportion by drama channels. I find though that there is mostly a benefit in allowing those who've been abused to speak out. There's now confidence in many fans who can know that their favourite creator won't get away with abusing their power. But this is a very complex issue after all, one I'm certainly unable to solve in about 10 minutes, but I hope I've shed some light on it for you all. I've been Bathtub Running, and I can't thank you enough for stopping by.